Hi, I'm Arielle Hixson with In Creative Company. Thank you for tuning in to one of our talks today. Today we are joined by actor Aedin Mincks. Aedin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
And how have you been throughout this pandemic? Have you been working from home and kind of having to, finagle all of that?
Yeah, it's been fine actually. We were actually like moving while it was all like going down, and like we had like the last truck full of stuff like coming out of California like as it like had the huge shutdown where it's like, all right, now there's a curfew, don't leave your house. So yeah, we got out of there just in time.
That's very good. I know so many people who have done the pandemic move, and it's insane. But we're here to talk about more interesting things, like your most recent role in Cobra Kai. Tell me about your character.
He's Mitch. His best friend's Chris, but they kind of like split paths like later on in the season. But like he's kind of they're both kind of like WWE nerds. You kind of see it on their shirts and stuff, and like you'll notice it lines and references that they do. But so like I saw it as like he was like kind of a WWE nerd, but he wanted, and then he went to like the All Valley and saw Cobra Kai win, and he became like got really into it. So like he wanted to do what he still liked, but wanted to be like kind of badass with it. Like he wanted to be cool with it. So he kind of just like stuck with like the whole fighting, like showmanship stuff, and just, joined Cobra Kai. And yeah.
Well, what's so interesting about the series is that it's kind of like what you talked about in that, they're kind of nerdy, this crew who is on the other side, which is supposed to be quote unquote the bad side, however you look at it. And I just find that so interesting. Like, what's your thought process with, I guess, a reverse of what's expected with who is a villain on this show?
Yeah, that's what I really like about it too, is like you can pick any of the senseis as your hero or your favorite, and there's like enough stuff to like justify it. Like, Kreese is a war hero. He has like all that, like he has that past and like all that depth that they put in season 3, which I really liked. Like all his like Vietnam flashbacks and all of that like was really cool. So like yeah, you can like, and from Johnny's point of view, how he lost to a illegal kick, and then also like how his lights end up and how he built himself back up, and then these other people are still trying to bring him back down. And like so you can literally like pick any of them to be your hero or the good guy, and like you're probably going to be in the right, like no matter who you pick. So yeah.
Well, I'm actually pretty curious though, because I know that you play a character who is on the Cobra Kai side, but if you had to choose, like Aedin, if you were to join a dojo, which one would it be?
Including Eagle Fang?
Yeah, including Eagle Fang, which season 3 toss up, the third part.
Yeah. I would say I kind of liked. If Eagle Fang didn't exist, I would say Cobra Kai, just because it's more like it is badass. Like it's more like aggression and like punches and kicks and all the cool stuff, rather than like the kata and all that. But yeah, like
I feel like the Cobra Kai kids have like something more on the line to fight for, where the Miyagi-Do people are just, we're here just doing karate, whereas Cobra Kai is like, you either do karate or you don't, or you get walked on. I don't know. I need to find a better catchphrase for that, but I don't have dojo yet, so oh well.
Yeah.
And what was it like working on that show? It must be like, insane, not only having to act, but prep your body for all of this. What's it like?
Yeah, it was it's fun. They have we usually have like training we have training like before we go on set. So like we'll go to the set, but there's like this extra like sort of building thing that we walk into, and there's pads all over the floor. And then we sort of just do like a little warm up all together. Like a guy comes around with like punching mitts, and it's like, all right, left, right, all that, like going down the line. And then we all break into our own groups, and we'll either like practice fights that we have with people, or we'll just like practice things that are like coming up. So like how when Peyton was doing her had the nunchuck scene coming up where she was using nunchucks in the last fight, she was practicing with nunchucks like 2 weeks or 2 episodes like before we were actually going to it. So like every morning, like she'd just be over there like like the whole time. So yeah, we have really great stunt coordinators to like prep us and like get us ready for everything. So yeah.
That's awesome. And do you feel like you would have a black belt at this point, or is that too far? Could you have a belt?
I don't know. I feel like no, I don't know, because like I can't really do a flip yet. So like I feel like when I can do a flip, that's when I deserve a black belt.
This makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, kind of, you know.
And with this, have you seen a resurgence of kind of like an interest in karate in general? And do your fans ever come to you kind of like, hey, where'd you learn that move? Or do you see like people talking about joining dojos? I mean, I know it's a pandemic, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, that's what I like noticed and thought was kind of cool. Like, someone told me that before, like how when the original Karate Kids came out, like those caused a huge spike and like everyone wanting to do karate. And then now Cobra Kai is kind of doing the same thing. Like even like my girlfriend's not daughter, my girlfriend's little sister. Her little sister like wants to get into karate and stuff too now, like because she loves the show. Yeah. So.
That's fantastic. And you guys are like the next generation of karate kids, which is wild. Sorry, that's a big one to put on you, but it's true. I mean, you're the next gen, which is awesome. Yeah. Do you guys did you ever keep tabs, or did you follow the original Karate Kid movies?
Yeah, before I got the part, I only knew about the Jaden Smith one. Like that was the only one I watched. And then like after I got the part, they're like, oh, my parents were like, oh, these are based off the originals. And I was like, originals? And they're like, what? They like took it personal. They were like, what? How do you not know about this? Did we not tell you? What's wrong with you? And then it's like we went back and watched it. And like, yeah, I like the originals way better. I think the third one is my favorite.
Oh yeah, it gets really in depth. When I was watching Cobra Kai, I was thinking, okay, because I've seen the originals a long time ago, but I was thinking, okay, they keep bringing back all these scenes, which is awesome, which makes me want to go back and watch them again. And everyone's coming back. Spoiler alert! And actually, no, I'm not going to say who comes back in season 3. I'll just keep that on the low. But we all know about who comes back, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And with this and with what'd you say? Sorry.
A couple people actually do, like from 2 and the first one. Yeah. So
exactly. You have the girl from Japan, and then we have some high school sweetheart that we all know about. Everyone's back. Yeah. And I know there's so much drama on the show, but I wonder, what's it like behind the scenes with the cast? It must be a really fun cast to work with.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everyone's like really like fun and like buddy. Like we're like, yeah, it's just really cool because we're, like most sets will be like, oh, it's my second family, we're best buds and everything, and like, but it's like pretty much just for show. But like, no, we really are like a second family. Like we like have sleepovers all the time and like hang out, like play Monopoly till like 6 a.m. and Magic the Gathering. Like it's really fun. Like we all get together, like have fun, we cook, we do all that. Like yeah, it's great. I love being here. I love hanging out with everybody.
That's awesome. Not to ask again, but there's no like issues with the 2 dojos, even off screen.
Oh yeah. Like the only problem we have with the separate dojos is like having separate scenes with each other. Because that way we I'll be when me and Khalil Chris split dojos. It kind of sucks because we weren't able to hang out all the time. So like I would be at the hotel and be like, hey, you want to hang out today? And he's like, I can't, I'm on set. And I'm like, yeah. But so
that must be funny because you all get along off of the set, but yeah. The only times you guys actually come together on set when there's going to be some type of karate brawl.
Yeah. Like, all right, today I punch you in the head, like is one.
It's like, oh, we played Monopoly yesterday, but I'll see you for that brawl scene in the high school. Miguel, look out, looking for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's absolutely wild. And what do you think will be, I guess, the thought process towards the future of Cobra Kai? Do you think that it's going to keep on going for more and more seasons? It's going to get more and more intense? Because I mean, this season was wild. From where it started to where it ended, I'm like, my head's still spinning.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now we're gonna see like some things like explained. It's like, oh no, now there's way more questions. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's really cool. Like I honestly just hope it goes forever. Like this is like the most like enjoyable time I've had on a set, and like it's just like literally the best set I've ever been on. Like yeah, I don't want it to stop. Like it's my favorite.
Well, you know, the positivity just like radiates off the screen. I feel like even whenever I see interviews with yourself and cast members, everyone is just kind of glowing. So it must be just such a great positive atmosphere to work on.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Do you have any funny behind the scenes moments or spoofs or not spoofs? What's the right word? Is it like jokes? You know, when people like bloopers. That's it. Wow, like where have I been? Yeah, bloopers with each other. Yeah.
There was like there's some bloopers like where it'd be like alternative lines kinda, and like it was like one that was really funny, but like we weren't allowed to say it. It wouldn't have been good to like put out there. Like it was like one of my nicknames, and it was like something like completely different. But there was one really funny thing. I don't know if it counts as a blooper because like the producers like planned it, but they didn't tell. Okay, so like what happened is all the Cobra Kai's in the party scene. When Stingray had his hands duct taped with the 40s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that party scene. All the Cobra Kai's were on the couch. It was the one where like when they walked in, we're all just giving like mean mugging each other, and then it before he yells cut, before they yelled cut, all the Miyagi-Dos were standing there out, and they all just went ah, and just started yelling and charging at us, and then like. The cameras were still rolling, and like all the Cobra Kai's were on the couch, and we all went, oh! Yeah, we all got like genuinely like worried for a minute, like what's happening? Because everyone's going at once.
You're like, it's real life. Oh no, prepare.
Yeah, I was like, did I forget a scene? What are we doing?
That is so funny. And I know Cobra Kai is just one of the most recent projects you've worked on. You started your career early on with a bunch of different projects, but one was Ant Farm? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm correct here. Ant Farm on Disney Channel. What was that like? And do you still keep in contact with the cast?
That was fun. It was like one of my first like continuous like roles that I got where I it was fun getting to be on it like Disney Channel for a little bit and hanging out with everybody. We haven't really like kept in touch that much, but like we'll leave a comment on like each other's like post every once in a while or something like that. But I do keep in touch with like Ali DeBerry still. I went to her husband's baseball game one time. So we still keep in touch.
That's awesome. I mean, you have to think about it too from another perspective. For you guys, it's like old jobs versus like we're watching you and thinking like, oh, these are just a bunch of families that you have that you just kind of peep in on just different characters. But that makes complete sense. And I think one memorable role, which I was just smiling at because I was thinking, oh my goodness, I can't believe it, when you played Robert on Ted.
Oh yeah.
And you're just that cute little kid. What was that like? Because that's the funniest movie. Yeah, you're playing a character that has a pretty strange dad. What was it like to act in that role, and was it fun on set?
Like it was kind of like weird because at first when we got the audition script, it was like for a completely different like thing. Like it wasn't like the real audition. It was like for some type of bully, and like I was arguing with my mom about it. I was like, I don't want to play the bully. I keep getting auditions for bullies. I don't want to play a bully anymore. I want to be a nice person. And then and then my mom's like, you know what? You're probably not gonna get it anyway. Just go in there dressed however you want and just have fun. And I'm like, I can wear whatever I want. And she's like, yep. So I went in there with like a sweater vest, like shark socks, and like I just look weird. And so I walked in, did the audition, and then they like called us, and then they said, "Oh, you're flying out to Boston. He booked it." We're like, we just didn't. We're like, we only did an audition. You mean like they booked the flights to go to a producer session or a callback? And they're like, no, he booked it. He booked the job. We're like, okay, but that doesn't make sense. Are you sure? but so then we got the part, and it was just really cool because like, all those big names like Mila Kunis, Seth MacFarlane, Mark Wahlberg, like they're all really cool. It was so awesome. When I was doing it with when I was in like one of the scenes with Mark Wahlberg, we were at Fenway Park during like the last couple scenes, and then they were moving the cameras, and we were just like in Fenway Park, and I was with Mark Wahlberg, and I was telling him like how my uncle was a Marine, and like he taught me a bunch of cool like fighting moves, and then he was like, "Oh, really? You want to test him out?" And he starts like smacking me on the head, and we just like start wrestling. We just start like wrestling in the middle of like the street and stuff. Like it's all blocked off, we're safe. But like yeah, I was Mark Wahlberg, and that was really cool. And then what is it? Oh yeah, and it was really cool working with Seth MacFarlane, because I was telling him like how I was such a big fan of Family Guy, and I would make a lot of references towards it. So he would direct me in his character voices. So like I'd have like Quagmire, Stewie, Griffin like directing me. So it was really cool.
Oh my goodness, that's so incredible and such an amazing opportunity just working with them and growing with them. I mean, it's awesome. And I'm sure they're going to be looking at you 10 years down the line like, wow, we got to work with him. Now look at him doing amazing things. That's awesome. And while you were there, I'm just so curious, did you get to interact with the teddy bear? Or was the teddy bear just kind of like a moving?
It was weird because like for the longest time, it was just like a stick with green tape on the end, and they're like, all right, you see the green tape, that's your eye line, just look right there. And then I'm like, okay. And then like at the end of every scene, they'd yell, bring in the balls, and it was like these two balls on sticks, and like one side was like all like mirror-ish and like reflective, and the other side was like a bunch of like color patterns and stuff, and like they just like put them there and like flipped them where his head would be. And like I don't know, it was weird. But then like eventually they actually like pulled out the bear and were like, oh, by the way, this is what it is that you're looking at. But like this is what it is, and like it looked exactly like the bear. So I was like,
I can't imagine that, because like when you watch the movie, the bear just seems so interactive, and then at the time you're like a small kid, the bear's almost your size, kind of like. And when I think about it, I feel like you guys are both little, but I could have just been seeing it differently. So I mean, the thought that you're just looking at literally a stick the whole time, amazing acting.
Yeah, it was weird because like he would still say his lines. He would be like he would be like off screen, but like he'd still be doing the lines for the bear. And then because it's voiced over in CGI, he didn't have to say all of his lines. So he would say some of them. And then when we actually went to go see the movie, there was like way more than what he was saying. And like my mom the whole time was like, oh my God, no, and like covering my ears. So he is like, there's like the one part at the end where it's like, back off, Susan Boyle, or like the tubby McFat fuck and all that. It's like that. So she was like, oh God, he's gonna be so hurt. And I'm just like laughing the whole time. I'm like, this is great.
That's wild. Well, your mom's awesome, and you're pretty incredible, just mature and all that, so, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm like, this is awesome. What do you mean? She's like, oh God. Like, yeah.
And as you're prepping and continuing to grow within your career, because I know you're young yet very knowledgeable. How do you prep creatively, and where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years?
I don't know. I kind of just. Yeah, kind of like before. I just want Cobra Kai to go on forever, but I'm comfortable with this. I like it, but I kind of just I do classes once in a while. I interviews are nice to do because it's like interaction with like a stranger, and like you're like loosening up, and you're like just trying to talk and just become more fluent like with your stories and all that. Because I notice I say like lot when I talk. So when I don't know what I'm thinking about. But yeah, So, interviews are kind of nice to do. And yeah, tongue twisters, all that. Like I usually do like a but like, I don't know. It's just like mouth loosening stuff to make you pronounce words better. I don't know. Yeah.
I only know one. Mommy made me smash my M&Ms. That one's a hard one. There's so many different tongue twisters. It's like, oh, yeah. But that's the only one I can do. That's my only claim to fame there. Do you see yourself doing more action type roles, or do you see yourself going into more dramatic or comedy? Or are you down for it all?
Yeah, I'm down for anything, but like my favorites are like my favorite was comedy, but now I kind of like action more because like I like like all the karate and stuff is fun, like all that. But it's been really fun doing all the fight scenes because I think those ones like are my favorite to do now. So yeah, comedy and fighting action. Yeah, it's kind of like what I like.
That's awesome. And what would you say to a person who is just starting out in your career path, who might want to try what you do or might be a little bit hesitant? What would be your guidance? Because I feel like you have a great and positive outlook and a bright future.
I would say just just like stay confident in it. Sometimes people will be here for years and never book anything, and sometimes people like come here and will book the first or second thing they audition for. So you kind of just like, you can't like get discouraged. If you want to stick with it and you want to be passionate about it, you just got to keep going strong with it. Because you got to think it's like almost over 500 people auditioning for one part. So like, it's not going to be you every time. So, just don't try not to get discouraged, and just work hard at it. Get headshots done, stay in classes. Well, not stay in classes, but like attend classes once in a while, like just to get the jitters out, not be as green. But yeah.
Keep yourself fresh.
Yeah, just keep yourself freshened up. That's the word.
That's fantastic. Words of wisdom. Well, Aedin Mincks, thank you so much for joining In Creative Company. It was such a pleasure talking to you, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And congratulations. Continue doing your thing. You're awesome.
Thank you very much. You have a good one.